Daddy born poor, Mama was too. Walking through the snow, plastic bags on their shoes. Papa selling houses, sleeping in a car. Four babies in the back seat, underneath the stars. Well, hey, hey, just work a little harder. Hey, hey, punching that clock with work and prayer and a little bit of luck. Make so much money, need a 10-ton truck. Ha 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 ha.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Paul McMann here with Forex Smart Trade. It is Monday, November 6, 2023. So glad you could join me for the live trade with Paul. Here at Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to help you become the best version of yourself. And we do that by teaching you how to trade with our proprietary trading indicators that are simple to use yet highly accurate. We've been teaching traders for 15 years, so we have gotten very good at it, and we are so confident in how well these indicators perform and our ability to teach you to do it, that once we've trained you, we let you trade with company funds and split what you make. So we make it easy, enjoyable, and profitable, and you don't have to go through a lot of information to figure it out. You've got somebody here who knows how to do it, and we'll show you, and that is the purpose of today's session. So with that, let's kind of jump right in and see what we've got available. We first need to listen to this guy, and then we'll get going.
Due to federal and state regulations, we are providing the following disclosure. Please stay tuned, as this will take less than a minute. Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
One of the things about our approach to this is that since we are letting you trade with company funds, we are always accessible and with you. In addition to the live trades that I do, which are the one we're doing right now, and do another one on Tuesday morning at 6:30 Eastern and Thursday morning at 6:30 Eastern. We do live trades once you are a member every morning at 10 a.m. and every evening at 10 p.m. In addition, we have advanced member training Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Saturdays back to the basics at 10 a.m. And in those sessions, we continue to review the various trade strategies. We have a dozen. When we train you, we will customize a trade plan specifically for you based on your availability to trade and your risk preferences. I like to work off of a little checklist, kind of like a pilot that helps me stay focused. Every day, good habit, restart your green chart. It clears out the memory, lets it operate a little faster, and also picks up any updates that we might have done. At the end of every day, it is good habit to review the trades of the day, specifically the ones that didn't go the way that you thought they should have or didn't win. One of the terrific things about our indicators is it's got the simulator built right in, so you can go back to a specific time and take a look exactly what you were looking at. The other advantage of the simulator is that you can go back and it allows you to back test. So once you learn a signal, you can go through a month or 2 months worth of data in an hour and find the setup that you've been trained on, and then run the setup through on the simulator using the real-time data or using the data, and then see what would have happened. Very good way to expedite your learning. We are technical traders, and what that means, we are trading based on the price action. Other kind of trading that's available is trading based on the news, which is called fundamental trading. We do not do that, but we do want to know what the news is so we can trade around it, and we do that by taking a look at forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com breaks news down into 3 categories. Yellow, which is low impact. We don't generally worry about those. Orange, which is medium impact. Some traders will take a look at this or keep an eye on this. I don't. And red, which is high impact. Those are the things I want to trade around. Usually I want to be out of a trade within a 2-hour window. So right now we're 6 hours away from this. Any trade that we would be taking in the first 30 minutes here, off of the 1-hour chart, should be closed before we get here. So we've got clear sailing. So with that, let's jump in. The trade signal I am going to use is something called the 10-point trade signal. I'd like to do it 1 hour into the chart. 30 minutes into the chart. A 1-hour chart, we should be able to get in and out within 1 to 3 hours. So that satisfies kind of my risk profile. And on a 1-hour chart, a trade's going to be worth anywhere from kind of 5 to 35 pips. And my sweet spot is 11 pips. If I can get in and get 11 pips and do that 3 times a day, I am making terrific money. So let's go and see what we've got set up. Chart I am going to trade off of is something called the Light 6 Major, which is one of the standard charts. It has 6 different currency pairs up here. They're all US based on this first chart. I am going to start with the middle section of the chart, which we call the majors and minors. This red and green line is the major indicator. Black and gray is the minor indicator. Horizontal red line is the oversold line. So when the lines are down here below the oversold line, that's a buying opportunity. And it's a specific buying opportunity when the lines are below and pointing up. Right now, we don't have that with the Australian US dollar. The majors, the red and green line, are going down. The minors are going sideways. Now, can I get 10, 11 pips if we're oversold and going down? Yes, you can, but it's just not part of my trade strategy. I want to minimize my risk. I just need a couple good trades a day, and I'm going to make money, and I don't want to get in a position where I've taken a trade and all of a sudden when the lines are down here, it's going to reverse soon. I don't know when, but I don't want to get caught when it does reverse, because then I'm going to likely get stopped out, and I don't want that to happen. So right now we got nothing on this. I want them oversold and going up, or this horizontal blue line is the overbought line. If the lines are up here, I want them overbought and going down. So I don't have that. Euro USD, oversold, majors coming down, minors sideways, so nothing there. I want everybody to agree. And the goal of this trade is if I can get all the lines from all 3 sections to agree, I've got a high probability trade. So that's what I'm looking for. No complicated math. It's simple. If the lines line up, I've got a good trade. Pound USD oversold, majors going down, minors kind of going sideways. US dollar, Canadian dollar overbought. Majors going up, minors going sideways. And we got a little bit of a duck bill here. Here's his bill, here's his head. This kind of tells me there's a little bit more up in the movement. So if I were holding this, I probably wouldn't get out of the trade quite yet. I'd let it run a little bit more. USD, Swiss franc, overbought, majors going up, minors kind of sideways. Dollar, yen, everybody's sideways. Minors are actually starting to come down, but majors are sideways. So nothing that's interesting on this first chart. So I've cloned this chart, and I have another chart that has non-Euro US pairs on it. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. Euro pound, overbought. Majors are sideways, minors going up. So I don't have agreement. Australian dollar, yen. We're in the middle of the channel. It's kind of been hanging out in the middle of the channel here for about 4 or 5 hours. It's starting to come down. Minors sideways. So again, we don't have agreement. I am not crazy about taking a trade from the middle of the channel. I want to catch it on this side. I want to catch it here and then ride it through the channel. So you can see that I caught this. You know, you're looking at 15 pips. Well, that's what I'm looking for. So if I can get 11 pips in 1 hour, that's terrific. So that's what I'm looking for. So we're going to pass Euro, Canadian dollar. Both the majors and the minors are in the middle of the channel, and they're each going opposite direction, so nothing there. Euro, New Zealand dollar, we're approaching overbought. Within 1 hour, it kind of went from one end to the other. Pound yen, oversold. Everybody's going down. Euro, Australian dollar. The majors were overbought and going down. Minors are oversold and kind of going sideways. So again, no agreement. All I'm looking for is some agreement here. And it doesn't take much to kind of find it. Canadian dollar, yen, where my majors are going to oversold. Minors are oversold and starting to turn. Euro, New Zealand dollar. It looks like we're a little late on this one. They were oversold. Everybody's going up. I don't mind that the minors have kind of run through the channel, but I want the green line on the major to be less than halfway. I don't know how much steam is left in the up move here. Pound New Zealand dollar. All right, we're oversold. Lines are below the red line. The majors are. Everybody's going up. Minors are going up. Majors are going up. And I have the third element. There's 3 things I'm looking for. So 1, that we're oversold. 2, that everybody's going up. And 3, on an up move, that the green line is crossed over the red and the gray line is crossed over the black. So I got all 3 points here. I like that the green line is steeper than 45 degrees. That's a plus. I like that there's a little kink here in the line where the green is getting a little more steeper than it was down here. And I like that the green line is just about to go into the channel. So 3 points here, plus I got 3 or 4 things that I like. So when I have that, I'm going to jump up to the TNTs and count how many lines are supporting this buy signal. So thin orange is going up, thick orange is going up. So that's 2 of the 4. Each of these lines is capturing how the price is moving at different speeds. And the two blue lines are going down. The blue lines are inversely related. So when blue is going down, that means buy. So then blue, dotted blue is going down, and the thick blue. So all four are telling me, hey, buy. All right. So I've got the kind of the second section of the trade. Then what I want to do is I want to go down to the pressure down here. And I want these lines either going up, which they are not, or I want the green line on top, and it is not. We've got weak down pressure. What makes the pressure weak is the slope of the lines and the gap in the lines. Pressure is stronger the steeper these lines and the closer together these lines are. Now, probably in the next hour, this green line is going to cross over the red line. But it's not there yet. This is starting to roll to go up, but it's not quite there yet. So I've got 3 points here, 4 points here, but no point here. I want to have a point from all three sections. So since I don't have a point, I am going to pass. New Zealand dollar yen. Again, would have been a nice signal had we caught it an hour ago. It is now almost run through the channel. So I don't want to take it at this point. And again, you can see as you caught it, 17 pips. So we could have carved 11 pips out of this little run here. New Zealand dollar, US dollar oversold. Majors coming down, minors starting to turn. Euro, Swiss franc, oversold going down. So nothing so far. So here's another 6 pairs. Let's see what we've got. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So the minors got to oversold, but the majors didn't. Everybody's going up. I have the double cross. But my issue here is we didn't really get to oversold here. So I don't like that. And it's kind of been hanging out flat for a few hours. So I don't like that either. I like it when it goes down and then turns and comes back up. So this in the middle stuff isn't for me. Thick orange is going up, thin orange is going down. So when we have one of the orange lines, thick blue is coming down, telling me buy. Dotted blue is going up, telling me sell. So only 2 of the 4 here. So I don't have 3 out of the 4. I'd want 4 out of the 4, or 3 out of the 4. I do have up pressure, very weak up pressure with red on top. But again, I don't like that we never really get to oversold. So I'm going to pass. Swiss franc yen. Majors going down, minors going up. They're both in the channel, so we don't have agreement. Euro yen. Majors just reaching oversold, minors starting to turn. Pound Australian dollar, we're oversold and kind of minors still going down, majors are sideways. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, oversold, still going down. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, oversold and going up. So here's a case where you kind of see a couple hours ago it started to go up. But this was way overbought. The steepness on this is probably a little bit less than 45 degrees, even though it's going into the channel. And it turned. So we've gone through 24 pairs. and we didn't find a good trade. One of the great things about the coaching program, though, and the indicators is that we do have multiple signals. So I'm going to use another signal and see if I can come up with a trade using a different signal. Now, this signal is called the thick orange line signal. And what we try to do on the thick orange line signal is we're looking at what the position of the thick orange line is. And the thick orange line is a scaled number. And when it's as high as it can go, it's at 10. When it's at 10, it doesn't think there's any more up in the movement. When it is as low as it can go, so if there's no more up in the movement, that's a good time to sell. We've kind of maxed out at the top. Let's start to ride the other direction. Likewise, when it's at 0, it thinks there's no more down in the movement. If there's no more down in the movement, that's a good time to buy. So I am looking for situations where this is 0 or 10 or within 1 point of either end. So 0 to 1 or 9 to 10. This trade is good on a 30-minute chart or a 1-hour chart. So we're on the 1-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, you want to only take this trade when there's less than 5 minutes left. So there's 8 minutes left in the hour. So we're going to start scanning and see if we see the setup. So I'm looking for 0 or 10. If I get a 0 or 10 or within 1, that's part 1 of the setup. Then part 2 of the setup is the position of the red line. So let's go take a look. So this isn't close enough. 0. So we get a 0 here. I want to see where this is. The red line is oversold and below the horizontal red line. So this is part 2 of the test. Part 1, this is 0. Part 2, the red line is below the red line, which it is. When we have both of those scenarios, that trade is worth 5 pips. So NZD, CHF, buy. Now, the only other thing I want to think about is what time is it in each of these markets. I want one of them to be daytime. So in New Zealand, it is, what time is it in New Zealand? It's at 14 hours. Let's take a look. New Zealand, Australia is 14 hours. New Zealand. So New Zealand is even more than 14 hours. So New Zealand, 9:30 in the morning. So it's morning time. Perfect. All right. So we're going to go ahead and in like another 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take a buy on the New Zealand Swiss franc if this stays this way. I want to make sure this red line is below the red line. 1.8 isn't close enough. 0, yes. But look where my red line is. It's still in the channel. So this is telling me there's more down in the movement. When this is down here, it's telling me there's not much more down in the movement. So no. 0.7, that's within 1 of 0. But look where my red line is. This is telling me there's more down in it. 4, no. So let's go here. Oh, 0.4 is within 1 of 0. And my red line is way down. So we got condition 1, condition 2. But what time is it? In Europe, add 6 or 7 hours, depending on where you're at in Europe. So that's 10 to 11 p.m., 7 hours in Switzerland. So nobody's trading. These guys are all asleep. I want to have one of these active because there needs to be active trading for this trade to work. So there's not active trading, so we're going to pass. 1 isn't close enough. 0.1 is, that's within 1. But look where my red line is. It's not where he needs to be. 10, yes. But look where my red line is. This is oversold. This is telling me there's no more down in the move or no more up in the move. This is telling me there's a lot of up in the move. So we don't have agreement. So we're going to pass. Same here. We're almost overbought, but not quite. No. $1.4, no. Yes, not quite. I want this red line above the blue line. Not quite there yet. Euro Canadian, no. Yes, but this guy's not where he needs to be. No. Last one. 7, no. 9, yes. And the red line is way above. So I like this. This is a nice setup, but it's the end of the trading day here. And, it's 11 o'clock in Switzerland. So because of the time zone, I'm going to pass. No, yes, yes. But again, the time zone, I'm going to pass. 0.7. Yes and yes. Now, this is a little bit of a strange one. So it's morning time in Australia. So that's okay. The only thing I don't like is I don't like when this has been hanging out for multiple hours. So I prefer it to come down steeply. So if we go back to the New Zealand Swiss franc, if we go back to the New Zealand Swiss franc, see it's pulled back just a little bit. The red line isn't quite there. Let me take a look at one more thing before we decide on this. Now, this is a little scalp trade, and the issue with the little scalp trade is I don't have that chart. So New Zealand Swiss franc. So I'm going to go to File, New Chart. I want to know what the spread is. New Zealand Swiss franc. Make it a 1 hour. So the spread is about a half a pip. So that's okay. All right. Let me just take one more look at it. Oh, man. See how it's shied up just a bit? I'm going to hold off. I want this red line. Basically, I want the red line where the green line is. Let's go back and look at the Euro USD real quick and see, or the Australian USD. I'm thinking about it. I don't like this. I want to catch it. I want something like this where it's going straight down versus here. It's going down. It's here, and then it's gonna turn. When it's been hanging out. When it's been hanging out down here, we're less likely to get the bump. And what happens is it's you can think of it like pulling an elastic. When this is at 0 or within 1, and the red line is below the red line here, when the candle snaps, when the new candle comes up, it's like letting go. It's like letting go of one side of a rubber band. There's a little snap, and we're going to get that. And you can see it's been at 0 for the last 3 hours. 1, 2, 3. let's see how this number changes real quick. Ideally, we want to see it change by 1. Let's see if it goes to 1.8. Bingo. We can go ahead and take a buy on the Australian USD for 5 pips. A buy on the Australian USD for 5 pips. Let's pull her up. File, new chart, AUD USD, 1 hour, new order. This is a demo account, so I am going to. It's got 10,000 in it, so I'm going to do new order. Oops, come on over here. It's going to be. I'm moving the decimal place over 4 spots to 1.0. I can take anywhere from half of that to double it. So I'm going to click buy. It records it. Right click, go to modify. It's worth 5 pips. So 5 pips is 50 points. If I click the little blue button here, it does the math for me. This trade's accurate around 90% of the time. So 90% of the time, I can use a 4-to-1 stop loss and still make money. So I'm going to click. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 pips equals 200 points. Click the little red button. It does the math for me. And I want to make sure I get the full 5 pips. So we got in at 64.88. So if I'm going up 5 pips, I'm going to go up to 64.93. 64.93. 93.9. That'll get me my full 5 pips. And I'm going to leave it there. So we took a buy on the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, with a take profit of 0.64939. Take profit of 0.64939 and a stop loss of 64685. Stop loss of 0.64685. So again, going back to that, the stop loss. So since the trade is accurate 90% of the time, if I win 9 of these trades, 9 times 5 is 45 pips. And if I lose 1, I'm going to lose 20 pips. So 45 minus 20, that leaves me 25 pips ahead. So I can take the 4-to-1 on this trade and still end up making money at the end of the day. So that was that trade. Now we're going to change gears and go into the overnight trade. So the overnight trade is not made on a day chart, which we have here. It's, made on an hour chart, which we have here. It's made on a day chart, which we have here. So here I've got multiple time periods of the Euro USD. So here's a day chart. It is showing me this candle has 24 hours worth of information in it. 23 hours worth of information in it. And it's a modified version of the 10-point trade. So I am looking at what the green line is doing here. We're overbought and it's going up. I'm only looking at the green line. So it is telling me buy. I don't trade on one piece of information. I want something to confirm it. And I found when the 12-hour and the 8-hour agree with what I'm seeing here, that's a good trade. It's worth 11 pips. So as we go to the 12-hour, we're overbought. It's coming down. So it doesn't agree. Overbought, coming down. So we don't have agreement. So no trade tonight. In fact, we've got kind of down across the board. 4 hours going down, 2 hours going down, 1 hour is going down. We're in the middle of the channel here. You can see I've got my support and resistance. Looks like actually there might be even a support line right in here. Support line is kind of a natural spot where it stops, and it seemed to stop in here. And maybe this should be right about here. Stopping in here, stopping in here. So we'll adjust that. Yeah, so we don't have anything. So we're going to pass on the Euro USD tonight. Let's take a look at the pound yen. So this is different. I don't worry about the time zones because we're trading off of a day chart. So on a day chart, it doesn't, I don't expect this trade to close till, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. So here we're overbought and we've got the green lines coming down. So that's telling me sell. 12-hour overbought, green lines telling me sell. This green line is steeper than this green line, so I like that. Overbought, green line is telling me sell. So sell, sell, sell. We're going to take a 22 pip sell on the pound yen. 4-hour, almost overbought, coming down. 2-hour, oversold, still coming down. 1 hour. So we've got down across the board here. So we're going to take a 22 pip sell on the pound yen. You can do that in your simulator. So pound yen, I am going to go to new order. My volume is going to be 1. So again, I'm just moving this over 4 spots. I could actually go to 110. I could actually go to 1.04 or half of that or double it. But since I've already got an open trade, when I take this next trade, it's going to move my margin down to about 1,000%, 900%. I want to keep this. I don't want it to get lower than really 1,000. So we're going to take a market sell. And you see it brought it down to 700. So I can have 2 open trades and kind of be safe. So I'm going to right click, modify. In here, we're going to take 22 pips. 22 pips is 220 points. I click the blue button. It does the math. And we're going to use a 3-to-1. So 3-to-1 is going to be 66 pip stop loss. I like to use a little bit bigger numbers here because the pound yen is more variable than the Euro USD. So that's why we're going for 22 pips versus 11 pips. If we did 11 pips and say 33 pips, we would get stopped out too often. Because this is 22 pips, I'm not worried about this doesn't have to be exact. Whereas on the 5 pip trade, I want to get the full 5 pips, but 22 pips, I'm not worried about losing a pip or 2. So then I click modify. It drops in the stop loss and take profit. So we took a sell on the pound pound yen with a take profit of 184.922, stop loss of 185.810, stop loss of 185.810. My entry, the entry here was 185.131. Okay, gang, this one will take a while to close. This one, should close in the next hour or two. Let's just actually go back and take a look one more time before we leave. That was the AUD USD. Yeah, it should. We should be all right. It's still going down a little bit, but it's going to start to come back. Like I said, the one thing that I didn't quite like is I prefer it to be more like this than like this. Okay, gang, we'll be doing this again tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. It is my pleasure to have you join me and learn. If you want to learn a currency trade, we can teach you, and we're so confident we'll let you trade with our funds. We are here. We're available. Our interests are aligned with yours because you are trading our money. We don't want you to lose it. All right, great, gang. We will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.